All right, I'm on hole number 3 of the 2020 Winter Major. So let's go check hole number 3. So, all right, hole number 3. Okay, a couple things. I was and have been. Let's get this picture so we can actually blow it up. So on this hole, I started the week off. There's my pin. I started the week off. I came out into this area right here. I tried a max overpower hook shot. I ended up in the sand. The first time I clipped over here in this area, and then the next time I caught on this hole, I made an adjustment based off where I was last time, and then I was over here. So then I set my range, and then I went right dead center in the middle and was able to catch this, was able to make it over the sand. Next bounce was out here in the fairway and bled off into the rough and ended up in the rough right down in this area. And so I've looked at that video several times to work out like where I was at so that I could actually do a rough bump right here on the second bounce and then bleed into this fairway and end up right here. And that's going to give us a great shot. With a big dog, you could actually catch this fairway over here. If you've got a sniper, you could come at it from this direction and actually kind of come up there. This green is super dangerous. If you're on the backside of this green, you come in with any speed, you're going to fall off the green and you're going to end up in the brown stuff. So I was working on that shot earlier in the week, and the reason I was working on the max overpower hook shot is because I wasn't in practice. I wasn't willing to expend the power 5 balls. But now that we're in the actual on the course, I brought my caddy. We're out here practicing. If you bring a bigger ball, and if you've got an extra mile, you bring a big dog, and we bring a power 5 ball, and we end up in this area. If with a power 3 ball, if you're up in this area right here, which is a pretty straightforward shot coming, trying to get up in this area, maybe a little bit of drop down here, but we're trying to get like right up in this area. With a big dog and a power 3 ball, you do have a little bit of a window here. Your red line's like back in this area here, and depending on which way the wind's blowing, you could get up here so that you could either do a rough bump and bleed out, or you can try and do the bounce over. The problem with if you're too far back and you get all the way over so it hits this fairway is in order to get over here so that you could hit this fairway, you've put so much topspin on it that when it hits this fairway, there's a good chance you're just going to bleed off on the other side. There's a real fine line. And the problem with the big dog is that you don't have very good ball guides, so you can't really tell whether you've put too much on there until it actually bleeds off on the other side. But with a 5 power ball from here, I think we can get up far enough in this neighborhood that the top spin that we would have to put to get over is about the right top spin in order to get us up to the cup. So today, the first thing I'm going to do here today is I'm going to try just a normal shot with a 5 power ball. I don't think we'll have to use any overpower on the drive. I think our red line is going to be somewhere in this neighborhood, and I'm going to try and get out here and see if I can get it to drop a little bit. The main thing is to end up in the fairway right out here so that we can see what that second shot looks like. So that's my goal. Now let's see if we can actually achieve that goal. So I'm going to take my number 1 bag, extra mile, and I want to bring a big dog. Extra mile, big dog. That should be the only 2 things that we need, and we need a 5 power ball. Now we shouldn't need a lot of curl. So let's see, the present ball's got 1 curl, 2 wind. These new rose balls have 2 side spin, 2 wind, 5, 2, 2, 5, 1, 2. I'm going to bring the rose ball. All right, let's go check it out. Let's go see if we can get this done with a 5 power ball and make this into a nice, easy shot. My goal is to put myself up there so that I have an eagle putt. But I'm not really worried about getting the eagle here today. If you're practicing today, if you're watching these videos and you're practicing today, you need to have a very bad score because there's going to be a ton of people practicing today. I can see in some of these brackets where you may qualify with a -3. It's because if you get in one of those brackets where everybody's practicing, you could very easily end up in some trouble. I'm just wondering, if I put too much curl on it, I'm going to end up bleeding out down there. So I'm going to leave it right there. It's 2.1 per ring. So that's about a ring and a half. I'm not going to do any overpower, but I am going to do just a little bit of curl. And hit it great to the left. We'll see if I clip that rough out there. And then just stop out there in the middle of the fairway. Could put a little bit more on it so you don't clip that rough, or you could set up. The deal there is that when you're trying at the very end of your run there, you're trying to go to the right, but you don't want to go to the right until the very end of the run. And in order to do that, normally what my MO would be is I would take the ball to the left. And so that may be the deal, is we may want to start off over here to the left so that we can apply curl, especially if you've got an upper developed. If you've got a lower developed extra mile, you're going to have to hit it straightforward and just deal with it. But if you've got an upper developed extra mile, or if you've got an apocalypse will work really good there because it's got tons of curl. You could definitely start off to the left and then bring the ball back to the right. Trying to get above that area. Let's see if we've got any kind of a window here at all. So we definitely need to get more forward out here. So clipping the rough and just laying up where I'm at is not going to be the answer. We're going to need to get out into this area out here. So we do need to pick up some more distance in order to get up there. Yeah, I'm gonna do the max. And I hit that a bunch great to the left. My main thing here today is I'm not worried about this second shot. I'm worried about that first shot. That first shot, we need to have that first shot in a spot where we can get ourselves up there. And if you're watching my videos for the first time, you're going, this guy is a dip. I get it. But today I'm not worried about the shots coming in. I'm worried about setting myself up for the shot that comes in. And that drive shot is that's on this particular hole, the drive shot's the money shot. We need to work that out so that we can get into the right spot. So we can engage this fairway way up at the tip, and we have full maneuverability. So we're going to need to get more forward roll, which means that we cannot engage that rough on that drive. We're going to have to miss that rough so that we can roll forward. And I think the way to do that is to probably start off more. We may be able to start off in that left-hand fairway and then bring it back around. I will take this shot a little serious, just to see if I can get my timing right. I'm still on my first cup of coffee. Come on. Hit it great to the right. Just a bit outside. I have a max overpower hook shot that I was working on this, and I'm going to use that max overpower hook shot in my. I won't be able to use it in my low level account because I've got a extra mile 6. If you got an extra mile 8, you can do the max overpower hook shot. If you've got an extra mile that's less than 8, we're going to have to play this a little straightforward, kind of like what I was playing right here. You will definitely need a 5 power ball, or this is just going to be a birdie eagle with a shot a birdie par 5 with a shot at eagle. And that's unacceptable. I mean, we have to play these par 5s where we're trying to get eagle, and we want to be trying to get eagle with a putt or a super short chip. I will miss my putt so that I want to make sure that I do not qualify today. See if my opponent can get in the hole. They're using one of the new balls. In the hole. Birdie. All right. I learned something there. And the cool thing is I can go back and watch the video. You guys can watch the video. You can go back there and look at the drive shot. And the whole deal on that drive shot, let's go back and look at that hole. So not having brought out a 5-power ball here before just so that we can see distances, I clipped the rough right here and I ended up kind of in this area right here. And from this area, you can see where my red line was down here with my big dog. We really need to get farther forward up in this area. So when we're coming straight forward at it, and let me redraw that line. See if I can draw a straight line today. When we're coming at it and we're trying to clip, and I clipped this rough to get me so that I wouldn't bleed off out here, just to put me up in this area. That's not quite enough. We need to pick up a little bit more distance and get down into this area. So from this line here going there, we're going to have to come around that sand, or we're going to have to blast over that sand, and that's not going to be possible. So since our red line, our max red line, is out here with the ball, if we draw our arc, that means that we could engage over here. And so anytime you're using curl to try and get you to go in this situation right here, we're trying to use curl to get us to go to the right. I move my ball farther to the left to open it up so that the curl that I'm putting on can become effective. So if we start off over here on the left, we may be able to engage this mouth more so that as we're tailing off, we're rolling into the area that we're looking for. So I know everybody that I've seen has been looking at this spot right here, but if we're bringing out a big power 5 ball, this might actually be the spot so that we can use curl to get down in here. Now, if you've got an extra mile 8, an extra mile 9, you probably have enough curl that you can get this trajectory going. If you've got an Apocalypse, level 4 or higher, distance-wise on the extra mile, as far as pure raw distance, it's negligible. I mean, you've got a little bit less distance, so this isn't really going to be the factor. But what's going to really help you with that Apocalypse is that you're going to have that curl so that you can bring it down through that mouth, and you could potentially even end up down in this area here, and that's the spot. I mean, if you can end up down in this area right here, you're definitely going to have a great shot coming in. It still looks like you're going to need, I'll have to end up down in this area a time or two to see as far as distances. If I can get my red line on my big dog so that my red line's out here towards the rough or in the rough, then that means that we may be able to engage a sniper. And we'll have a little bit more accurate club coming in, but the main thing is, I don't mind taking this with a big dog, but the main thing is that trying to pick up as much distance as we can on the drive. When I did the max overpower hook shot, I ended up in the rough, and I posted the video. There's one that I posted, and I ended up right about there in the rough. So I was able to come from this side over here and get over and end up in this area. So if we can start off over here without having to do max overpower and just use curl and use this mouth to get us out into here, I think we're good to go. So that's the shot that I definitely want to look at, and we're going to be able to achieve that with a 5-power ball. We can't, it's not going to be good with a 3-power ball because we're going to have to use max overpower. And there's way too much stuff going on over here. If we have any bad trajectory or if we hit a grade on the inside or the outside, we're going to end up in the brown stuff. And we want to make sure that we end up on the fairway. So the next time I get on this hole, I'm definitely going to explore coming at it from the left and then bringing it back to the right. All right. That was hole number 3 of the 2020 Winter Major. Thanks for watching.